Welcome to Inside Varsity Sports preview of the biggest, baddest high school football rivalry in New Jersey. Don Bosco and Bergen Catholic on a stage like we've never seen them before. I'm Phil Bacacci, and tonight we'll take a look at the game everyone is talking about. Let's get started with Coach Vito Campanelli and Frankie Zito. Frankie Zito, Coach Campanelli, welcome on to the Phil's Zoom or on with Inside Varsity Sports. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing great, Phil. Thanks for having us.
Frankie, how you doing?
Good.
Good. Coach, how'd practice go today in the rain and the weather we had today?
Frank, should I tell him how soft we were today? Yeah, I feel like it actually went pretty. We kept it pretty dry. We're in such a COVID scare with everything going on. We actually we got outside for a little bit and then we finished up inside mostly. I feel like we've been in training camp in November right now. We haven't played in so long, so we've had plenty of practice time.
Yeah, so Coach, actually, that actually brings up a really good point. Like, I remember, back, at the days, when everybody would go to the bubble and it would be raining, you'd have Bosco get there, and then 10 minutes later, St. Joe's walks in, and then a couple minutes later, Bergen comes in, and it looks like from the Anchorman when they all had that street fight, everybody just kind of giving a look, and everybody's like, oh, are we going to do this today? Are we not going to do this today? I mean, Coach, does it make a big difference not having the bubble, or do you just like being outside the whole entire time, even pre-COVID?
Yeah. So for us, we used the bubble quite a bit. We were big up in Oakland. We used the bubble a lot. But to be honest, for me, it's about just making sure that with the weather that these seasons run a little long, and just keeping the guys healthy is the main thing, especially this year, is just making sure that we can keep the guys on the field. And with all the scares that we've had health-wise throughout New Jersey, we just kind of preemptively played it safe here today.
Frankie, that's actually going to direct my next question to you. Frankie, with having the St. Peter's game, you guys just got that taken away at the last second to get moved towards Thanksgiving. How much does that affect your team in getting prepped now for this game? Does it help you that week off, or does it kind of, quote unquote, make things a little bit difficult to get the roll back? I mean, I know you only missed the game, you didn't miss practice, but does that fix anything or help you guys?
Well, definitely gives us more time to prepare, and that's really important. And just not being in game speed in 2 weeks, a lot of people think that can mess us up, but I think we're good. It gives us more time to prepare, and the more time we have to prepare, better we can be on the field.
Right.
Yep.
So, Coach, last year you guys had some rough luck and got hit with a couple injuries late in the year. This year you guys have a lot of talent in your junior and your senior class, and right now you guys are off to a 4-0 start. How does this team have a really good chance to compete for a state championship, even though there's not really going to be one played, and maybe it's going to be based off records, and you guys are right now in the driver's seat with that?
Yeah, I just think we want to just come out and prepare ourselves every single day. And we've done an amazing job of that. I think the main thing, these guys love to play football in any capacity. Like Frank was just talking about last week, the emotional drain of that game was not having it 1 and 2 in the state it was exhausting to me. And honestly, we came in Saturday and we practiced. We had one of our best practices of the year on what should have been the biggest game of the year. So I think it's just the fact that we have unbelievable leadership within our senior class. These guys love to be together. They love to play football together, and they're unbelievable teammates. And honestly, it's been one of the most enjoyable groups of guys I've ever been around in my 37 years involved in football as a player or a coach. So I think a lot of it basically comes down to guys like Frankie and kids in this class.
All right, so Coach, that's going to lead me in my next question. As we just said, there's no trophies on the line. So in that absence, how important do rivalry games like Bosco become? I mean, you guys, safe to say, it was a hard start off to the year for you guys and St. Joe's, going right at each other out of the gate. No games to kind of prep, see what's going on. It was kind of just going right into the fire. So how did these rivalry games take over in the absence of a state championship?
Yeah, we don't look at it. We look like there is trophies on the line. I've been the biggest proponent of there should be a state champion and there should be a state championship. I mean, does COVID know if it's a playoff game? I don't understand that. To me, that is the most ludicrous thing I ever heard. I think it's just absolutely nonsense that there's not. But to us, and we say it, and Frank will tell you, we talk about it every day. We feel like we're as good as any team in the state. And the thing about this year is you really don't have the opportunity to trip up, right? Because there's not going to be a tournament. So we know, we're going against an incredible opponent every week. We're going to play in the best league in the state. And we know that everybody's got a chance to win in this league. It's been proven year after year. So we just got to come out and bring our A game every week. But we never really look at it as there's not a trophy to be played for. We love playing football together. We love the guys we do it with. And we feel like, we have a chance to win every single week.
Coach, as a coaching staff, what are the kind of preparation things that you guys have to fix, especially with, you look at your St. Peter's game gets canceled at the last minute. What things do you guys then have to down to now prep for another week? Where that team, again, where does that whole entire game plan kind of come in? Almost a week kind of lost.
Yeah, it's still up here to be. Yeah, but it is. You're right. I mean, you do have to kind of go back to the drawing board and you have to start over. And we've had to do it twice now. Bosco, we knew coming in that game wasn't going to happen, but we weren't able to find a new opponent. And that was difficult, just not having anybody to line up and play that week. But the St. Peter's one was difficult. So you just have to go back to the drawing board, move on to the next guy. It's a year like no other. I've never experienced anything like this in all my time in football.
All right, so Frankie, your offense this year's you guys have been scoring like crazy this year. As a lineman, how much pride do you guys take in your run game? Especially with your junior tailback Ryan Butler. He's got a state line to get excited about. 4 games, 81 carries with 643 yards. What have you guys been doing to open up these holes for him?
We just play as hard as we can every week. We come out there and we know play to our full potential. I don't think anyone's going to stop us. And we worked really hard all summer with Coach Stangl, and we did countless Zoom calls all during COVID and stuff. Like, we worked really hard at getting to know these plays and just doing it over and over. A lot of repetition all off season, and it's really working out. And we just hope it keeps going.
So, Frankie, let's talk Saturday. How much does this game mean to you?
It means a lot. I've been waiting a long time to play in these games, about 10 years. But I played in the playoff game last year, and I still remember that. And we definitely want some revenge. It was the first time I lost to Bosco. And I've been coming to these games my whole life. And, yeah, I'm real excited to play Saturday. It means a lot.
Coach, as a coach, how do you have to keep your guys' morale calm, not too calm, but make sure that everybody's still focused on Saturday's game, even though, it's Bergen Bosco, but there's not going to be that many fans that want to be there. How do you really have to make them feel like this is still probably the biggest game of your season?
Yeah, there's such a personal pride factor in this rivalry. I know that our guys are going to play incredibly hard. We know that their guys are going to play incredibly hard. But to me, it's all about doing it for each other. And I think every time, we're very grateful to step on the field every time we step on the field. And these guys mandate that respect. They're an unbelievable group of guys to coach.
Coach, what's your favorite memory about playing against Bosco?
Well, I just think the intensity and the emotion of doing it together. To me, it really is something that, you represent your whole school and your community, and you go out there and just the rivalry and the pride that we take in going to every battle against them is, guys like Frankie and his classmates. It's something that they'll be talking about 25 years later when they come back to their class reunions or when they're at somebody's wedding or, these are memories that they're never going to forget, and they're things that they're going to take with them forever. And I just really grateful to be a part of it.
So, Coach, everybody knows, you've probably got maybe one of the greatest coaching staffs in the state right now. I would say probably it's almost like a superstar lineup. And when you look at everybody's coaching staff, so Coach Morangi's and your coaching staff, but what does Coach tell these guys about Bosco Bergen? I mean, at the end of the day, he's been on the other side of the line for so long. Like, what does he tell them about his old team and like really kind of getting them more prep for this game?
Yeah, I think Coach Toll is always going to be about toughness first. You know that's what he mandates. He mandates that out of his players. He mandates that every day. And I'd be lying if I said it's not a little bit more important to everybody because of the way things ended for him up there. And I think that it's just gives us a little bit more added motivation, knowing that he's with us and how much he means to our program and how much he means to the guys that he coaches.
Coach, your quarterback, Angeli, he's a junior. This year, he's thrown for nearly 700 yards in 4 games. Can you explain and describe to me him as a quarterback and what he's been able to do for you guys this year compared to last year with the 2 quarterback system?
Yeah, he's just another year, added experience under his hat, and he's really a cerebral kid. Unbelievable how much football he knows. I think Frankie could attest to that. He's a guy that really his memory and the way he does an unbelievable job of checking plays at the line. And then his athleticism is off the charts. I mean, he could escape the pocket, and he's a weapon with his legs. And football's so important to him. He works so hard at it. Great kid to coach. Super kid to coach.
So, Frankie, this is actually a question for the both of you guys. So, Frankie, we'll go to you first. This year, the defense has 21 sacks. What does that do for your team, and how does the confidence really help the offense with that?
So we're real confident every time they're out there that we'll be back on the field real quick. We've had defense been real good this year. D-line, 21 sacks. And we're always confident in them. The Paul game, especially when we had the fumble recovery for like a 80-yard touchdown. I wasn't really nervous at all when they were driving. I think our D-line's real good, and they always make big plays, especially this year. They've made a lot, so we're real confident in them.
Coach, last year in the state semis versus Bosco, you guys had a lot of injuries that really kind of hurt you guys in that game, but not really the character. The team really showed how tough you guys are as a coaching staff and the risk that you guys like to take on 4th down. How much more are you guys able to have more faith in your offense, being able to keep them out there for all 4 downs with a defense with 21 sacks in only 4 games?
Well, that defense causes a lot of yelling for some guys during practice now. But we are 100%, Phil. We're definitely, we've gone for it on 4th down quite a few times this year. We've been real fortunate and successful on our 3rd and 4th down offense this year. But having that confidence that you have those guys that could play with their back to the wall, 100%, it really lets you go pedal to the metal as a play caller, and not just having confidence in our defensive line, but confidence in our offensive line too, that we could finish drives and we can get to these 1st downs. And we've done a really good job being successful in 3rd and 4th down offense this year, no doubt.
So, Coach, what do you guys see from Bosco this year? I mean, it's obviously not the record that Bosco wants, but does the nature of the rivalry make this game more competitive than it looks on paper?
Oh, absolutely. There's no question. I don't really even look at the record. I see a team that played incredibly hard against St. Joe's and, had a couple big plays go the other way, but they were right there. I mean, before the field goal at the half, it should have really been a 1-score game. They got a great kicking game. Defense, they will cut it loose and come at you from every which angle. And obviously, that they're always going to have playmakers. It's Don Bosco. They're one of the best teams in the state. So, 100%. We don't even look at the record side of it. I don't think the records apply to this rivalry.
Coach, a big thing with these rivalries that a lot of people, I feel like they see, but they don't really make a big deal of it is, players, they come and they go, they do their job on the field. They win these state championships, but it's the coaches that are there for all these games year in and year out. Your family has been the heart and soul of Bergen Catholic football in these rivalry games for years. What's it like for you to take over and continue your family's legacy at Bergen?
Yeah, I really feel, and I hope that all of my players feel this way. I think that we have a common bond with our players, and I hope that they know that these are relationships that are going to last their lifetime. And I think that when it comes to myself or any of my brothers and my father, I think that the number one thing that we try and take out of coaching is the relationships. That's why I do it. The guys that coach me and the relationships I have with them, and then hopefully the guys that I coach now, and just kids like Frankie and watching him develop since I met him at the end of his freshman year to now. I can't tell you how proud I am to be a part of his life and to watch him develop into the person he is today. I think that the bottom line is, for me, at the end of the day, that is what I take from this more than anything.
Frankie, what have you learned from Coach Vito throughout the years?
Made me a lot tougher. I remember him yelling at me my freshman year, and just I didn't want to mess up in the weight room in front of him. It just made me a way tougher football player. Yeah, I mean, he really makes toughness like a real virtue for us, and he made me a lot tougher. I'll tell you that, because when I go on from football, I don't know, it's not gonna be much worse.
Frank,
But
if there's one thing that you want your team to know, you want to say to your team that when they listen to this interview, what is that going to be?
jeez, I don't know. Philly should have told me this before.
Yeah, that's my fault. Me and Frank, we game plan before, so I was like, okay, gotta always make sure everybody's looking good on camera. You're right, Frankie. I would just say game plan is going to be important for you guys. How excited are you about this game? Put it that way for Saturday. How ready?
Like I said, I've been a part of this for a while, and I'm really excited to go out there Saturday. I've been thinking about my senior year for years now, especially how it's going to play out. And I think it played out perfectly. Get to play him Saturday in November. I'm very excited for, I've been waiting a while to play. I played in it last year, like I said. I still remember after last year, they ended our season. So go out there and get revenge.
Like it, Frankie. So, Coach, let's have some fun here. Let's go into a rapid fire question, okay?
Do I get to ask him the Frank?
No, you I mean, if you want, but I think you get
I'm rapid fire. Wait, all right, hang on. Let me. Okay, I'm ready. What do we got,
Coach? Game day superstition.
Game day superstition. I have a couple great shirts underneath my coaching gear, but then I'd have to say, Frank, my beige Crocs, right? My beige Crocs.
Yeah.
Those are some wing dingers. My beige Crocs. I've had those since the Westwood days. Yeah.
Well, back in the Westwood days, 2 state championships back to back. When I tell you, everybody, hit these teams, they weren't even teams. It was just a machine. They would roll through teams. Friday nights, people would be there. The game would be over at the end of the first half. I mean, it was crazy. I mean, Coach, when you left, everybody was like, "Wow, so I guess are we done with state championships?" But no, they're
going to be there for a while now. That's a heck of a program there.
This interview is especially special to me because, Coach, I've known you since I've known of you since I was in 5th and 6th grade. You're watching these West teams go all the way, and there's just one guy at the center of it, and Coach, it was you. So, Coach, I want to thank you for coming on. But we got a couple more of these questions. Coach, what's your favorite food?
Me and Frankie Zito around here. I got to say Italian. So let's go to Sunday pasta, no question. Yeah.
Favorite dessert?
Chocolate chip mint ice cream.
Same. That's like that. All right, Coach, who's your role model?
Oh, my father, no question.
Coach, your favorite TV show?
This Is Us. That's the one we watch as a family these days. So my daughter is a huge fan of This Is Us. I did get home to watch that this Tuesday.
Coach, what did you guys binge watch over quarantine?
Binge watch over quarantine? Zoom meetings with the offensive line and Fred Stangle. Binge watch over quarantine? That's a great question, Phil. We watched a lot of football.
Who's your favorite assistant coach, and who's your favorite coach growing up?
My favorite coach growing up, man, I've had a few unbelievable ones. Gerard Jordan, for sure, was an incredible coach. And then Rich Dugan as my wrestling coach. Both of those guys have had such a profound effect on my life. And then I would say John Z's at the high school level, who I coached with at Westwood, has probably been – those guys have been so significant. It's really hard to decipher. But John's meant so much to me in my life. Favorite sport besides football? Wrestling was definitely my favorite, but my son's big into baseball, so but wrestling was my favorite. Yeah. Okay. This is a weird question, but does anything go through your head besides football during a game? Do you ever sometimes just zone out for a minute thinking about something else? Absolutely not.
Coach,
I wish I could. I wish once in a while I'll say I wish Fred would stop talking during the plays, but no, that's
Yeah, Coach
not
is
too
a
much.
lot, man.
Coach, have you ever broke a headset before?
Numerous.
I mean,
I've broken a few things throughout a game day. Yes.
Coach, but I remember last year when you guys beat Bosco. I mean, everybody's all like jumping around. You're in the middle. Everybody's like, "What's Vito gonna do?" And Coach, I mean, those dance moves, like those were insane. You think we're gonna see some of those Saturday?
You know, I do have to say, I would probably think, not even in New Jersey, probably the tri-state area, I definitely am the best dancing coach in the tri-state area.
I think at the end of the season for charity, you, Coach Sabella, we should get Coach Morangi, get Coach Hoffman to come back, and you guys should do. We guys should see who's got the best moves. We should do a charity thing like that.
Best moves. Wow, I tell you what, that'd be quite a dance-off with those guys.
All right, so Coach, is there anything that you want to ask me or any questions that you got?
That I have? No, I really appreciate you guys having us on. I certainly appreciate you having us on together. You know, this has been, like I said, we love to have a good time, and I love that last segment. That was awesome. And no, I really appreciate you doing this. I appreciate you being part of high school football and covering this game.
Thank you, Coach. Frankie, thank you, Coach. Thank you. We'll see you guys on Saturday.
Okay, Phil, thanks.
So thank you to Coach Vito Campanelli and Frankie Zito. And now let's hear from the guys from Don Bosco Prep head coach Dan Sabella and offensive lineman Jake Guy. How's the week been going for you guys?
Yeah, you know, we had a little hiccup on Tuesday. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get out there and practice, which was, you know, you never want to miss a Tuesday during game week. But this virus, since way back in the summer when we started going, it's been throwing a lot of curveballs at everybody. We know everybody's dealing with it. So our kids have been resilient. They bounced back with a good day yesterday and today. And being that we're playing Saturday, I think that helps us a little bit. Not, you know, with losing that day, we got the extra day to make up. And we can't wait for 1 o'clock Saturday.
Jake, how's the week going? And how are you doing? You know, this could be your last time playing against Bergen Catholic. So how's your whole entire week been going for you?
Yeah, obviously we had the off day on Tuesday, but I think the extra day because we're playing on Saturday, so it feels like a regular game week. I think we're doing good. We made a lot of improvements. You know, we finally got our whole line back last week. It was the first time we could play with that 5 kind of core guys we thought we were going to have coming into everything, but it's a crazy year, so stuff happens. But overall, I think it's a great time. And with Bergen, I mean, the last time playing them, it's a special game. And, you know, we don't like them and they don't like us. So that's all you really have to say about that one.
So, Coach Spell, I'm going to get right into it. You know, this is your second week in a row playing against a powerhouse team. You know, Friday night against St. Joe's didn't go in your guys' favor. What's the morale been around the team and to really kind of look away from the St. Joe's game, fix what you made, fix your mistakes, and get ready to go in this game?
Yeah, you know, that's been one of the challenges, and I think that's what attracts so many of us to this great game of football is that, you know, you have ups and downs, and we've definitely had a couple of tough weeks. It's been over a month since we've won a football game. And we expect to play against the best and see great competition week in and week out. So we got to be mentally tough. We're preaching that to our kids. We got to bounce back and we've got to learn from our mistakes. And for us to be able to play at a high level, which we need to do to beat these teams, we need to have 11 people doing their job, giving great effort and executing on every play. And we believe if we get that, we can play with anybody. So, you know, it's another opportunity for us to go out and do it this Saturday.
All right, so Coach, it's been a crazy year for you guys and everybody around the state. So, regardless of what happens on the scoreboard, are you guys just grateful to be able to play football this season?
We are, no doubt about it. You know, being up in Ramsey and having a lot of our student body and a lot of our families from over the border in New York, and talking to a lot of coaches, you know, and around neighboring states and whatnot. You know, we're blessed to have been able to have the opportunity to get this far. It's seniors like Jake and seniors all over the state, got to have a season. Already you're hearing about, potential, shutdowns for the winter season. I saw the Ivy League just canceled their winter sports today, which isn't a good sign for anybody. So we're, I think we all got to be pretty happy. I think we will be when we look back a couple weeks from now. But right now we want to keep our head down and try to be able to finish this season out and get a couple more wins under our belt.
Jake, let me go over to you. Right now, your offense has a pretty big problem right now with your quarterback, Jake Robbins, out. As an offensive line, what changes have you guys had to make around Nick Minicucci?
I don't think we've had to make any changes, to be honest with you. We've always played the same brand of football, no matter who has to go in there. We've dealt with injuries in the past, and you got to plug in. The young guys have to step up, and that's been happening all over the team with everyone. So I think the main focus is you just have to out-tough the guy in front of you, and we keep the same mentality, whether, I'm back there at quarterback, so it doesn't really matter to us.
Coach Sabella, would you put Jake back there at quarterback?
That was scary, Jake. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear that one, but we would have to. I don't know. We'd be running a lot of quarterback sneak, I think.
All right, so Coach, one of the quirks about this season is, unfortunately, nobody's really playing for a state championship in a normal year. Of course, that's the goal. This year, what's your team looking to get out of this season? Is the Bergen Catholic game, would that kind of be like your state championship because you guys couldn't get it done with Joe's, so to really just win the rivalry game on Saturday?
Yeah, like you said, this is a rivalry game. So we're going to look back on this game forever. We always just like every Bergen Bosco game, and it's an opportunity. Look, we want to send our seniors out on a high note. Those guys have given so much to the program. We want to get our younger players as much experience as we can and try to develop guys and get some confidence going into next year. But, as the coach, we just feel like as a staff, we have yet to click on all cylinders and play to our potential and play to our ability. And we're running out of those opportunities. And, you never want to leave. You never want to have that woulda, coulda, shoulda attitude going into the off season. I want these kids to get to where we know they can get to and enjoy the fruits of their labor. And what a better opportunity than this weekend.
Coach, you talk about your coaching staff this year. You guys, I'm pretty safe to say that all three teams, Joe's, Bergen, and you guys, it's all a superstar lineup of coaches. For you guys this year, you guys brought in Coach Nate Burleson. What has his impact on the team been this year?
Well, first off, we have a tremendous staff. Coming to work every day and being around the guys that we've assembled, I'm really grateful, and not just great coaches, but great men, and who really have excellent chemistry and enjoy working together. Nate's brought a lot of obviously experience and personality to the position. Like any first year coach, I think he's fitting in, learning his role, everybody getting to know each other. And I'm hoping he stays with us and is part of the program for years to come, but he gets along really well with the kids. Obviously nobody knows the game better. And he's got a ton of knowledge that he shared with us.
Coach, so we know you guys had to have a shutdown for COVID reasons and lost 2 weeks before having to play a tough St. Joe's team. That averaged to 2 losses to you guys last year. Prior to this year, not too many programs have had to go through a 2-week whole team shutdown midseason. How hard is it to start things back up midseason?
Yeah, listen, it's been a challenge. Nobody wants to take 12 or 13 days off right in the middle of things. But again, we knew this was a possibility of happening. Our kids have handled it extremely well. The leadership of guys like Jake and some other seniors who've done a good job of keeping everything together. We're fortunate to have that. You gotta keep moving forward. You gotta control what you can control. It's easy to make excuses. We're just every day we're out there practicing is an opportunity. And, if you're going to put the time in, go reap the benefits of it. And like I keep saying, let's go play a good, clean, crisp game and do what we know we're capable of doing.
Coach, St. Joe's last week with Audric really hurt your defense, only being out there for a couple plays. A lot of morale gets lost on the sideline with that. What does your defense have to change this week for this Bergen Catholic offense that's just as powerful, just as explosive as St. Joe's is with Ryan Butler?
Yeah, I thought we gave up a couple of big plays last week at some really – there's never a good time to give up a big play, but, it just swung momentum so many different times. Obviously, we have to gang tackle. We have to do a better job of getting multiple people to the point of attack and get the ball carrier on the ground. And we have to do a better job of creating opportunities for ourselves. We have not forced a turnover in 4 games, so 16 quarters. We have not forced a turnover for ourselves, and it's tough to win in general. But if you're always on the minus side of the turnover ratio at the end of the game, you're putting your backs are against the wall. So I'm hoping we can create some turnovers on defense and on special teams.
Jake, on the offensive side, these 2 guys, line helped that you guys looked really good last year with Jalen Burr and Coleman Ungai. But you guys have shown flashes of explosiveness with Ronnie Heath. He's run for about 450 yards in 4 games. Do you think your unit has more to show us this year?
Yeah, I definitely think. Obviously, I said earlier, last week was the first time we really got to play as a core group that we brought in, those 5 guys. I think we have a lot of things to improve on, but I think we have improved on a lot of things also throughout the season. Ronnie's done a great job of stepping up as a young guy and just running the ball really hard behind us. So that makes our lives a little easier. And I think this game's really going to be a turning point for us. I know it's a little later in the season, but I think we have a lot to show this week against the good Bergen D line.
Coach, back to you. We just talked about the defensive side of the ball, but same thing there. What have you liked about the team on defense this year?
Well, we've shown flashes. We're a young defense with a couple of new additions. We've shown some flashes. I think that we've done a good job a couple times of bending and not breaking. Where there were 2 drives specifically last week with Joe's where we let them get deep, but we were able to hold them to field goals, and one time even force them to punt deep in their own end zone. Again, you can't give up big plays. We got to continue to do a better job of getting pressure on the quarterback, create some turnovers, and do a good job of in pass coverage, like not being able on get off the field on 3rd down. You got to win 3rd down. So hey, listen, these are real good explosive players that we're going up against every week, and the margin for error is slim. So hopefully some experience and a little bit extra fire in the belly this week, and we'll fly around and make things happen.
Coach, as I was just talking with Coach Vito about this, players, they come and go in these rivalry games, but coaches are there for a long time. As your 2nd year as head coach at Bosco, your 2nd time in the rivalry, was there anything that last year you wish that you knew before playing those games that now this year that you're a little bit more, I wouldn't say maybe a little bit more prepared, but kind of what things to focus on and how to stay in the game?
Well, we played twice last year. When under normal circumstances, when there's a packed crowd, it's always better to be home. That's for darn sure. Every year it's different year to year. You just hope your players go out there and play as hard as they can and dig down deeper and leave it on the field. If you get that, you can tell a lot just by looking in their eyes before and after the game. And if they empty the tank and give you everything they have, you're proud of them no matter what as their coach.
Do you think that you guys have emptied the tank every single game this season?
No, not to the standard that we expect from the guys. We've showed signs, and some guys have, but collectively as a group, there's a lot more there, and that's what we're, as a staff, that's what we're working to get to get out of them. And I don't want to say it's, part of that is because we are young in a lot of positions, but we've got to, we can do more than we have. That's for sure.
We look at the records. You guys this year 1-3, Bergen's 4-0. What do you really have to tell your guys this year that the paper doesn't matter? Just go out there and play in a game like this where you guys are not favored right now.
Yeah, throw the record out. I mean, again, back to what I said earlier. We know what we're capable of. We haven't gotten there. We haven't played all three phases consistently. You watch a ton of film and you go over your mistakes. I believe our team knows what they have to do, and if they want it bad enough, they're going to find a way to get it done.
Okay, so Coach, last year late in the season, things were looking tough for you. You guys were 2-4, having lost games to Bergen and St. Peter's Prep. Before you go on the road in Montville, you guys upset them. And then the number one team they were, you guys went back there. You guys beat them again to go to the state final. Does having that experience make this group more prepared to go on the road this weekend and pull off another remarkable upset?
I'm not sure. Last year was last year. That was a different group of kids. It's a new year. These guys have to write their own story, and the fact that it can be done. I mean, it can be done. It's every week that the margin for error is very slim, and I think a lot of us are very close to each other as far as talent and ability and all that stuff. It usually comes down to 5 or 6 plays every game that you look back on that you say that was the difference in. And I don't think it's any different this week. I know Bergen's got a real good football team. I know their record's better than ours is, but I really believe if we put it all together, it's a game with 3-4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and it comes down to the last drive or two. That's what our hope is, and we believe we'd be disappointed if it wasn't anything else.
Coach, is there any word on if Jake Robbins is going to play this weekend?
No, Jake had a foot issue coming out of that Del Barton game. Nobody loves this program and puts more into it than Jake. He's got a lot of guts and a lot of heart. But it's gonna be tough to see him, get back on the field, but you never know.
So, Coach, without him there and with Nick Minicucci, after you guys saw your game on Friday night, what changes did you guys have to make for this weekend?
Well, you try to tailor a game plan that fits, fits a younger guy, be able to obviously establish a little bit of a run, be able to cut down a little bit on the reads and the progressions that you ask him to do. But I think Nick's got a really bright future ahead of him. I thought he did a lot of good things last week. I think the experience and the reps and the game speed, the game speed experience he's getting is going to really benefit him, and hopefully he just gets better every week.
So, Jake, question for you. How have you guys on offense prepared for this Bergen Catholic defense?
Yeah, it's like every week, we go into it, we watch the film, and then we hit practice. So it's not much different. You can't get too emotional about it. Obviously, it's a big week. It's a big opponent, but you just got to stick to what you do and come back and be the same guy every Monday, and you got to do what you got to do.
All right, so, Jake, thanks for joining us. Coach Sabella, let's have some fun here with some rapid-fire questions, okay?
Oh, all right. Here we go.
All right, you ready? What is your game day superstition?
Oh, man. Game day superstition. Oof. I've got a lot of them, I got a lot of them. I don't even realize. I guess one that I'll share. I always like to go to the cemetery and say hi to my father before the game. So that's kind of like my little thing, a little bit of a superstition.
What is your favorite movie?
Favorite movie? I like Braveheart, Mel Gibson.
What's your favorite food?
Linguine and white clam sauce.
Okay. I'm a big fan of that one too. Okay,
Nice.
Favorite
what? I'm sorry.
Favorite dessert?
Favorite dessert? I've been into key lime pie.
Okay, key lime pie. I haven't heard that one. That's a good one. Coach Vita was mint chocolate chip. I like the key lime pie a lot. That's a good one. Who's your role model?
My father.
What was your favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? Oof, gosh. Currently or ever?
Ever.
Ever.
Or
favorite TV.
You tell me.
Gosh. I don't know, man. I've always been a big football guy. I love Inside the NFL every week.
So, is that just because Nate Burleson's your assistant coach, or is that because you just love the show?
No, that's not even Nate's show.
Oh
That's back to the old HBO Inside the NFL.
Should we even tell him that you said that?
That's okay. He won't mind.
Okay. Coach, what did you binge watch over quarantine?
The only thing I really didn't watch a lot, but I will admit I watched that Lion show on. I got into that thing. It was the Lion King or the Zookeeper, whatever that was on Netflix.
Yeah. Lion King. So who is the Lion King on your coaching staff?
The Zookeeper. What was the name of the show?
Tiger King. Yes.
Not Lion King. What was the show? Tiger whatever.
Tiger King.
Yeah, Tiger King.
Who's the all right, so ready. Who's the Carol Baskins of your coaching staff? And who is the Tiger King your coaching staff? If you had to pick.
I don't those I would never insult any of our guys. Those are some weird. We don't got any weirdos like that.
I feel like Jake Guy's got it. So Jake, do you have an answer? You're just gonna like sit there and be like, I'm looking for an easy week at practice next week.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. All right. So, Coach, out of all time, who's been your favorite assistant coach, and who's your favorite coach growing up?
I don't think I have a favorite assistant. I mean, my favorite assistant coach was my brother. I got to coach with my brother for a lot of years. He's the head coach over at Paramus High School now, so I would pick him there. Favorite coach growing up. Yeah, I guess I'd have to say Bill Parcells, man. We had as a Giant fan, we had some great days in the 90s in the mid 80s and the 90s with Bill Parcells. So can't go wrong with him.
Favorite sport besides football?
Basketball.
So now I asked this to Coach Vito too. How many headsets have you broken?
Just one or two, and most of them by accident. Those things are expensive.
All right. Does anything ever go through your head during a football game besides football?
Gosh, I'm sure it does, but definitely not in close games. I don't have a good story for you off the top of my head, like when Joe Montana got into the huddle in that one Super Bowl and was talking about John Candy sitting in the front row of the game. I don't have anything good like that for you, but I'll make a note of it next time it happens.
Okay. I'm going to ask you about that Saturday. Hopefully after the game, it goes your way. Coach, I'm going to hold you to that.
Good. I look forward to it.
Okay. Coach, any questions you have for me or anything?
No, man, I enjoy talking to you. You got a great persona for it, and you hit me with some good stuff.
Well, thank you, Coach. I don't know, but I hope my blue suit on Friday night. I wonder if you saw it. I wasn't a Smurf, but it was my suit. You couldn't miss it. It was you were looking sharp. Thank you, Coach. Coach Sabella, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Jake Guy, thank you so much for coming on as well.
Thanks for having us, man.
You've heard him talk. Now all that's left to do is kick things off. Saturday, the Ironmen of Don Bosco Prep travel to the brand new Jack McGovern Field at Crusader Stadium to take on the undefeated Bergen Catholic. Kickoff is set for 1 o'clock. Well, that'll just about do it. And for Inside Varsity Sports, Bosco Bergen Preview Special. Thanks to Bergen Catholic head coach Vito Campanelli and senior Frankie Zito, as well as Don Bosco head coach Dan Sabella and senior Jake Gow. For our executive producers, Rich DeCourt and Dave Rebell. Always remember, I'm Phil Bacacci, and you're not.